In the Chamishi of this week's parashah, we transition to a description of the various korbanot that were offered on a daily basis in the Beit HaMikdash. We begin with the Korban Tamid, and then transition to the Korban of Shabbat, Musaf, and then all of the rest of the holidays. Rashi notes that based on the Gemara Masechet Tamid on Daf Lamed Aleph Amud Bet, the halacha is that the Korban Tamid was offered in two different locations. The morning Tamid was offered on the northwest corner of the Mizbeach, while the afternoon Tamid was slaughtered on the southeastern corner. This is derived actually from the words in our parashah, where we learn in Perek Chavchet Pasuk Gimel Shnayim Layom that the Tamid must be slaughtered Keneged Hayom, opposite the sun, to the west in the morning and to the east in the evening. The Malbim explains that the idea behind this begins with the understanding that idolaters would worship the sun at sunrise and again at sunset. And the way that we counter this pagan ritual is by bringing our korbanot to HaKadosh Baruch Hu at the same times, but specifically opposite the sun, in the west in the morning, in the east in the evening, showing that we take no part in the worship of celestial beings. Rav Zalman Sorotzkin in his Oznaim L'Torah elaborates even further on this approach of the Malbim, explaining that the sun seemed to have been the primary focus of the ancient pagan world, as Moshe Rabbeinu himself said in Sefer Dvarim, Pentis Einecha Shamaima, lest you look up to the sky, v'ra'ita et hashemesh v'et hayareach v'et hakochavim, and behold the sun, the moon, and the stars, and be lured into bowing down to them or serving them. The fact that that pasuk lists the sun before all of the other heavenly bodies suggests that Moshe's primary concern was the sun. But even more compelling is the Gemara Masechet Brachot and Daf Zayin Amud Aleph, which records that at sunrise, all of the kings of the world would take off their crowns and bow down to the sun. To the pagans, the sun was the greatest and most powerful of natural forces. And for us, it represents the fundamental flaw of idolatry, that there's a possibility of divine power within natural forces. That, said Rav Sorotzkin, is the very reason that all the korbanot had to be offered specifically during the day itself, since, as the Rambam famously argued, the order of the korbanot is intended to negate pagan beliefs and rituals, and therefore it took place specifically during the daylight to oppose the belief in the supernatural powers of the sun, as if we're telling the sun itself, look, we believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When you're shining in the heavens, it's because God put you there and gave you that power.